Welcome to another episode of What Else You Got with Mitch and Margot. I'm Mitch, she's Margot. What else you got?
Hey, Mitch. I heard a quote the other day, and I have feelings and thoughts about it, but I want to hear your feelings and thoughts first. Are you ready?
Okay, you have thoughts and feelings?
No, I want to hear your thoughts
Oh,
and feelings about the quote, which I have not yet told you.
okay.
Are you ready for the quote?
Let me strap in, put my seatbelt on. Let's go.
All right. The quote is, and I apologize, I don't remember where I heard it, where I got it from. It said, "If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room."
Yep, that's repeated by quite a few different people to the point where I don't know what the original source is. I can tell you
Okay.
where you probably heard it, but that's about it.
Where do you think I heard it?
Cody Sanchez.
Maybe on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't agree. I don't think. I do partly. I have feelings and thoughts. What's your initial thought? And then when you give it more of a moment, what's your afterthought?
So my immediate thought is, okay, I need to go find better rooms. But then my follow-up thought is, there's two camps. There's the you're trying to grow, and so if you're the smartest person in the room, you have maxed out that growth opportunity, and you need to go find a different room to go sit in to grow. Or if you are taking a mentor uh, angle, then you should, on your one topic, be the smartest person on that topic. But communally, you may not be the smartest person, but you are there to convey your knowledge to help people, which kind of goes back to one of our podcasts about mentors. And so it really comes down to, are you trying to grow and improve yourself, or are you trying to help grow and improve others? And so if you're looking to grow and improve yourself, you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. If you're looking to grow and help other people, then you could be the smartest person. Now, I say could be because you still could not be.
Yeah, I think it can be such a multifaceted conversation if you go beyond the surface. Because, yes, on the surface level, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you've got probably nowhere else to grow. But that right there is a limited mindset. But also, if you think you're the smartest person in the room, how self-aware are you actually? Do you only think you're the smartest person in the room and you've got ego and pride and you're so narcissistic that you don't know that you're actually not the smartest person in the room?
So I'm going to put a pin in that real quick. So we keep talking about smartest person. What does smart mean?
Right, exactly. And so it's really so much more than a surface level kind of quote. And that's why I brought it for us to talk about today, because it can go so much deeper. So yes, how are you defining smart? Who is defining smart? And if you're the one defining smart, you're already self-limiting. So it's a conversation to be had. And I think even if it's 100% true that you are the smartest person in the room, then you should be smart enough to engage the other people in the room to have an intelligent conversation that can lead to additional ideas, brainstorming, going from here to there, discovering this. I mean, that's where hypotheses come into play, and talking and creating. So if you are the smartest person in the room, you can still bring up the whole room, and as a result, also bring up yourself. The tide lifts everything, not just one person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've got a couple of diverging thoughts, which I'm great at diverging thoughts. I was reading a book that referenced Henry Ford, where apparently he was in a lawsuit and he was challenged for his intelligence because apparently he finished, I think, third grade is as far as he got. And he was put up on the stand to show that this guy was not intelligent. And the lawyer was basically going, "All right, what year was the United States founded? How many British troops showed up? This, that, the other, and all these factual things." And Henry Ford turns around and goes, why do you want these factual things? I've got all these buttons on my desk. I can push a button and I can have a guy answer that question. I can push another button. I can have another guy answer a different question. Why should I fill my head with these menial, general pieces of information that do not benefit me when I can have someone else do it? And at the same time, it's one of those that uh, you don't have to be the one with all the knowledge on a certain topic. You just need to be smart enough to have that person with that knowledge in the same room to get them on the same page. And I, I'm bouncing between smart intelligence and knowledge because they all are different facets of the same thing, depending on which way you're looking at it. But it really comes down to, like you're saying, where the title lists everyone. If you build enough of a team, you can lead it. You may be the smartest person as the visionary, but you're not the smartest on the how to execute it. And that's why you have other people to do it with you.
Well, and that's one of the secrets to building a strong company or business is to not be the smartest person, to surround yourself with really smart people because that's what builds out a great team and a great company. So yes, so a lot to say about being the smartest person in the room. The idea if you're the smartest person in the room, you're not in the right room. Okay, so we've kind of discussed that a little bit. So
So
say that
can I can
yeah?
I poke at one thing just because we keep talking about it, but we haven't defined what is smart?
Do you want me to ask my friend Google?
Sure. Just because there's so many different ways of defining smart, because I mentioned smart intelligence and knowledge. Um, and smart and intelligence have a correlation, but they're slightly different. Because
Okay.
intelligence is the
Yeah,
good.
yeah, you're in the right direction there because it says here smart is having or showing a quick-witted intelligence. So being smart is more than being intelligent, it's being quick-witted with your intelligence.
I would probably shift it slightly where intelligence is the ability to perceive things and understand things, as being smart is the ability to action the intelligence, and intelligence is built upon knowledge. So you have your knowledge, which is your facts. Intelligence is how can you extrapolate on those facts, and smart is being able to do something with your intelligence.
I like that. Yeah. You are smart.
Eh, I like intelligent, but yes, I try to be smart.
Okay, so that was me asking Google to define smart. Now I'm going to ask it, what is smart? Um, I thought that was going to be smart. See what I did there? Instead, it was smart. The definition of stinging pain, acting rudely. Don't get smart.
Yeah. And yeah, it's one of those that I would probably say smart very much comes down to what context you're in, because we've talked about a couple different scenarios. Because it, in some cases, because you walk around and people, you look at people and go, why they do that? That's not very smart. But it's because you're looking at it with a different context than what they did. Because you words. You look at some people around you and they do financially dumb things that you look at them going, why'd you do that? But if you're able to get more of their why they do it and get the context, it makes more sense. Because like Warren Buffett, everyone goes, "Why'd you do that? That's stupid." Well, Warren Buffett is now one of the top guys, and everyone goes, "Yeah, I should do what he does." But at the time, he was considered dumb for doing certain
Uh,
investments.
whoever considered him dumb? I've never heard anybody consider him dumb.
At some point, one of his friends, probably said, "Why'd you buy a house? You're only 13."
Did he really buy a house at 13? Are you making that
Yep.
up?
No, he bought a house at 13 and he still lives in it.
How could he buy how can you buy a house at 13 when you can't sign a contract until you're 18?
It probably proxied,
Okay. See, I'm always
but
looking for the holes.
yeah, he probably provided the funds. His dad probably signed it, and then when he turned 18, signed it over. Probably is what happened. That way,
And
it
now
legally
we're just
worked.
making up our own reality.
Yeah, Yeah, all that fun stuff.
'Cause
But yeah,
clearly, neither one of us right now is the smartest person in the room.
no, but it really does come down to if you were Warren Buffett's friend when he was 13, go, why'd you buy a house when you could buy a car and actually use the car now?
Well, being's how I did identify that neither one of us is the smartest person in the room right now, I will ask the smartest person, did Warren Buffett buy a house at 13 years old? Thinking. No! Warren Buffett did not buy a house at 13, but he did purchase a 40-acre farm at 14.
Oh,
He bought his farm in Nebraska using $1,200 from his savings accumulated from jobs delivering the Washington Post newspapers. By age 11, he had already begun investing by buying his first stock.
yeah. You gotta love
Well, there we
grapevine
go.
knowledge.
We would not want, being how we are not the smartest people in the room right now, we would not want to spread misinformation because we are not that kind of podcast. And so thank you, Google, our third podcast member, for setting us straight. It was not a house. It was not age 13. It was a 40-acre farm at age 14.
Which, in my opinion, that's probably bigger than a house at 13.
Well, seriously, 40 acres? I don't know. I don't own 40 acres. Do you own 40 acres?
In my dreams.
Okay. Okay. Let's go back to that quote. All right. So the quote was, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. We've kind of talked about that a bit. So let's say you switch rooms, you go to a different room. Well, first of all, I want to talk about motivation a little bit too. Why are you being motivated to change rooms? Because again, if the tide can lift everybody up, couldn't you stay in that room and help lift everybody up? But are you switching rooms because you're tired, because you're selfish, because you want to grow and learn more from other people, because you want to expand your horizons? I want to know, what is the motivation for switching rooms?
So, my first thought, which I can expand upon after I ask a counter question of, why do you change jobs?
I don't. Well, I do. I have. I'll tell you what. I have been interviewing to fill 3 different positions at work, and I am so tired of looking at resumes. I'm so tired of judging people based off of resumes and first interactions, and I have been asking that question of every single resume I have looked at. So just asking the rhetorical question into the ether as I'm looking at people's resumes where they've only been at this job 3 months, only been at this job 6 months, at a job for anything less than 2 years. I'm asking that question. Why are you switching jobs so often? Is that something that's common in your generation? Why do people change jobs so often? My parents, that their generation, stayed with a job for their entire career. Why? What's happening? So you ask the question, why do you change jobs? Why do you change jobs?
Yeah, so I'll answer the generational question first, and then I'll answer my or I'll respond with my answer afterwards. So generationally, what is labeled with millennials is change jobs to increase your opportunity, to be able to uh, get to higher parts in different companies faster, to increase your pay, and at the same time, at some point, you're going to get laid off and fired. So you might as well change jobs before they do that.
You totally just described somebody who left our company recently. That's totally what almost everything you just described.
Hmm.
And
And it's just
coming from my generation, not cool. I don't think it's
Hmm.
cool. I don't think it's cool for you, meaning your sorry, oh, now I'm going to offend people. I don't think it's cool for a person to mislead the employer saying, yes, I'm looking for long-term employment, I'm looking for a home, I'm looking for a career, I want to stay, when in fact you're using that job, that company, as a stepping stone to get into a better job now that you can list this on your resume. I don't think it's cool.
Also, as you said that, I'm thinking the definition of career probably has shifted a little bit in the sense of career is your resume and how you built it out versus career at a individual location.
Yeah, because I ask people when I'm interviewing for an entry level position, when I'm interviewing for anything mid-range down, so entry level to mid-range, I ask them, "Are you looking for a job or a career? What are your long-term career goals? Are you looking for short-term employment or long-term employment?" I want people to be honest. I'm always so disappointed when people lie in their job interviews.
So, to answer the question from my perspective, so I change jobs for one because I have completed a specific task in my current position, and so I then transition to a different role, position, project, and that can vary anything from staying on the same team, changing teams, changing companies. But I usually try to accomplish at least one big thing and a couple others. I try to get more before I move on. I
Wait, you
change
tried to get more for you?
no more projects completed before I leave.
For you or for them? For more accomplishments for you, the employee, or accomplishments for the employer?
Both, because for me, a job is a two-way street. If I'm only handed endless work with no hope of relief, then why do I want to stay and get burned out? And on the other side, if I'm not producing enough, then why does the employer want to keep me around? So, and as I say that, I think that's also one of those generational differences uh, where people used to say I had jobs for 40 years. It was very much a we work together and it's a harmonious thing. As the job market now has become antagonistic between employer and employee, because there's no pension, and it's one of those that layoffs. We want a better or a better bottom line, so we're going to cut half the workforce. Which there's a couple companies that have done that over AI. And so it's just one of those that my generation has no trust in
Mhm.
companies to keep us around.
Understood.
Yeah. So it's one of those that, because like with the shift from pensions to 401ks, it takes the burden off the company to perform and keep their employees healthy. And it now says, here's money for you to go take care of yourself. And not a ton of people know how to do that correctly. And so they get to their retirement and they look at their 401k and go, why is there only nickels in here? It's because they either didn't apply it correctly, they used it as a savings account, they did bad investments, and they're just handed the resource without being able to know how to use the resource. And so it's shifted from a we'll figure it out for you to a you figure it out. And there's quite a few companies that they go, we'll pay an extra $5 if we don't have to give you a 401k. And because the way the economy's going, quite a few people go, I'll take the $5 now so I don't have to worry about it later. And so there's all that different stuff. So going back to my answer, it goes to I try to be fair since we're talking about it that way with employer where I deliver enough work where they're able to be satisfied with what I've accomplished. I try to hit certain milestones in their road plan. And grant, as I hit their milestones, technically they are resume items for me. And it really just comes down to I work through as many projects as I can until I hit some kind of roadblock. Not that I can't overcome the roadblock, because I overcome quite a few of those roadblocks, but there's usually at some point where my vision and the company's vision no longer align. And so it's one of those that because one example I had is I was told by my executive leadership, we need to have this project done in 6 months. I looked at them and said, to get it done correctly, it'll take at least a year. They go, you're getting it done in 6 months. And we got a half crap version of it done in 6 months. And considering they still want to keep pushing these not good solutions against the advisement of their specialists who can tell you how to get that stuff done versus someone who has the vision. In some cases, yes, that's what should be done is the vision can direct the specialist. But if a specialist says, if you want it done correctly and at efficient cost long term, we need to do it in this time frame. And I've run into that many times, and it's usually those strong disagreements where I try to work through it. But if it continues to get bogged down to the point where I am no longer me, then that's usually when I change positions to become me at the next role. And when I say become me, it's I have become bogged down enough in the role where I am playing a role. I'm not being me.
Interesting. This is fascinating to me because I'm striving hard with the owner of this company that I work at to create a culture that is not what you've described. But the reality is, if your generation, you know, generation wise, does not trust the employer for the reasons you've mentioned, which are all valid reasons, then if we are to create that trust in a different culture, it's going to take extra effort, more effort than I might realize, because there is such a generational belief in the items that you've mentioned. So I think that's all really valid information that you've shared.
And I have found quite a few companies that I completely align with their stuff when I'm interviewing and when I start. But of course, visions change over time and it drifts because one company I'm going, I absolutely loved it. But it really comes down to you don't quit the job, you quit the boss. Granted, my manager was great. His boss was the one that I quit because he was not listening, and we were saying we can do it, but it's not going to be what you want. And so that's really one of those things that you don't quit jobs, you quit bosses. Because if I didn't have the um, bogged down approach, I probably would have still been there. Still would have been doing great. But because I got bogged down in the weeds and could not get myself back out, leadership had problems getting me back out. It was just one of those that I was better to move on. But to your point, it's one of those that building that company, it it's one of those that, um, as I understand current corporate America, is you want to have your profit super high, and you want to be able to provide value for your shareholder or your owner. And it's one of those that, in my personal opinion, because I run basically no companies, I have companies that they just aren't doing anything right now. Um, in my viewpoint, to be able to build that strong culture of employees can trust the employer again, there has to be insane benefits. It has to be keeping up with inflation, keeping up with cost of living. And from the employer side, they look at it and they go, why would I do that when you're already at a current market wage? Because it's one of those that, and another reason why we keep changing jobs is we can stay at our job now, get paid $100 an hour, or we change jobs because most people are willing to pay more for new talent than to give their current employers or employees more money. So I can make $100 an hour at one place, or I can switch seats for the exact same title and get $150 an hour. Why? Because I moved over and I'm now new talent, not old talent. As if someone's willing to keep pace, it reduces that risk. But it's just one of those that there's that problem, and then there's also greenfield. Greenfield always causes problems.
What is Greenfield? Oh,
Greenfield or grass is green.
grass is greener on the other side. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard
which
it said
you
that way before.
granted, greenfield also means something else. Like there's something new to build, but grass is greener on the other side of the fence is the more correct one of what I'm trying to say in my head. But it's you don't know what's on the other side until you jump the fence and then you go, oh, I guess I'm here now.
According to Google, Greenfield is British English, which we've already discovered you prefer British English,
Apparently.
denoting or relating to previously undeveloped sites for commercial development or exploitation.
Yeah, which is the ability to build new things.
All right. Well, I'd say we got a little off topic there, but a fascinating topic because I am fascinated about why your generation switches job change. Yeah, but you've educated. Hey, I was not the smartest person in the room. You have educated me. I feel smarter.
Yeah, there's so many
You
different ways to dig down because I only understand a small facet. Because when you start getting into Gen Z, their culture is more of the whimsical approach more than where I'm a millennial, and so we try to actually build something. But stereotypically, because I'm not a Gen Z is work there until you get what you want or until you see something else shiny you want to go chase. And then I believe Gen Alpha is more in that direction
How do you know this?
because I listen to those around me
And you're surrounded by those different generations?
enough because working IT, one of the weird things, which I think the statistics probably should have changed by now, every 5 years, the population doubles, which basically means as soon as you get 5 years into the career into IT, you're now among the senior 15 or 50% of IT. And considering I've done IT for 15 years, I am probably somewhere in the top 25% of the industry, which is weird. And what do you fill up all those other seats with? Younger generations. So I've gotten to work alongside a lot of the younger generations, and it's very interesting to see their perspective, and it's very hard to understand them sometimes.
You're taking the thoughts and words right out of my mouth. I've had the opportunity to work amongst all the young generations, and it's very sometimes, yeah. Some of them I absolutely love. For those of you watching right now, I love working with you. You're the best.
Including the AI children. I mean, normal people.
I don't even know what you just said. The AI
No,
children?
so if we keep progressing the way we are, kids will eventually be replaced with AI.
Oh, well, that will make the birthing process much easier, right?
Well, there's an entire thing in China, but I'll talk about that later.
Future podcast. Okay, so if you're not the smartest person in the room, or you are the smartest person in the room, and you choose to change rooms, now you're no longer the smartest person in the room. So that also is interesting if you go beneath the surface, because at the surface, if you're not the smartest person in the room, then you ought to be able to learn a lot. However, if you go beneath the surface, who's identifying that you're not the smartest person in the room? Are you, or is somebody else? So are you being belittled and criticized and condescended to? Or are you identifying? Are you reading the room? Are you being self aware? I'm not the smartest person in the room. Then are you being humble enough to learn from the people around you? Or is your pride and ego going to kick in and you're going to try to be loftier, bigger than you are so that you can try to fit in?
Now, the really interesting thing with that is when you change rooms, whether that's through career change, association of people, if you change to a big enough room or a smarter, more intelligent room than what you're accustomed to, you will have imposter syndrome. Just because you go, how am I able to? Because when you change rooms, generally you come in as the bottom guy in the room, and it's one of those that how did I qualify to get into this room? Because you see all these people that are just brilliant, and you're going, wow, they're awesome, and you're just looking at it and going, how will I ever measure up to it? There's a reason why you're in that room because you qualified in some form. The person who let you in the room says you should be in that room. And so you meet at least some kind of thing. And then once you give it 6 months, you'll be talking at the table, not just being in the room.
Okay, you just made so many interesting metaphors, analogies. Just the comment of who let you in the room. Well, now that just goes into the whole arena and discussion of discrimination and who's deciding who's worthy and who's deciding who's not. And um that feels all sorts of icky because anybody should be able to go into, well, I don't know. Should anybody be able to go into any room?
Everyone should have the option to. The question is whether or not they want to stay, and which is also because where you're talking about a ephemeral person who's letting you in that may be discriminatory, I would label that as probably 70% yourself.
Mm,
Because who's the number one person that's keeping you out of rooms? You.
I'd say. I'd say yeah. And I mean,
And it's just the overcoming the other 30.
well, and imposter syndrome, that is all in your head. You
Hmm.
know, that is somebody's not slapping a name tag on you that says, "Hi, my name is imposter." That's all in your head. Imposter syndrome. So valid. I think we could talk a whole nother hour on this, but I do see a TikTok clock going, not TikTok, but I see a clock. Do we
Ticking
keep
in the
going?
talks. Yeah. So tune in next week, and we will have part 2 of the debacle of being in the smartest room. Uh, Again, this is What Else You Got with Mitch and Margot, and we will see you guys next week.